For purposes of introduction, I am Rosalinda Soipan Tuya, former member of Parliament. I pride myself to have served for 3 terms, 2 terms as at the National Assembly, and a very short 3rd term as a member of the Senate. In terms of education background, I'm a lawyer by training. Having done my Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of Nairobi. I have also acquired a diploma in law through the Advocates Training Program at the Kenya School of Law. And I have a Master of Laws in Sustainable International Development from the University of Washington in Seattle. I have had occasion to serve in various capacities at the private sector through development work. I have worked with the USAID. I have worked with the Kituo cha Sheria in advancing public interest litigation. I have also had occasion to serve as a member of the executive in the capacity of Cabinet Secretary in charge of environment, climate change, and forestry. Mr. Speaker, in terms of suitability for the position that I have been nominated to, the array of service that I have had occasion to be in, both in the public sector, the private sector, and in the civil service as a Cabinet Secretary, really posture me for this position as Cabinet nominee for Defense. Mr. Speaker, and my legal background and training, from my conception of the role ahead of me, it's largely a policy role in terms of analysis of policy, design of policy, and oversight of implementation of policy. And I believe that my role and experience in the 3 fields posture me well for the assignment ahead. The assignment ahead, should I be confirmed by this committee, again is largely a heavily constitutional office. You will find that the defense sector or the defense space and indeed national security really has the Constitution and Parliament as the bedrock of operations of the role ahead of me. So in appreciating and thanking His Excellency the President William Ruto for nominating me for this position, I believe that I have the requisite experience and training for the job. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll ask the Deputy Speaker to have the first shot at questioning you.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I can also make a confession that the nominee was my student at University of Nairobi. But that in no way will affect my judgment. Honorable Soipan, like you said, that the defense docket is highly regulated by law and rules and standing orders and military procedures. We have the Constitution and the Kenya Defense Forces Act, which establishes the position of Cabinet Secretary for Defense, who is then the principal advisor of the President on defense policy, while we have the Chief of Defense Forces, who advises the military on operational and administrative matters. So despite these 2 distinct roles, there's a potential that there can be an overlap. How do you intend to manage that relationship? Because that is probably the most difficult thing in the position. Thank you.
Soipan, and we expect concise and precise answers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In terms of my role as CS for Defense, upon confirmation by this committee, I understand my role as being that of principal advisor to the President on matters of policy, also a heavy advisory role to Parliament on matters policy formulation, assessment of the capabilities of the Kenya Defence Forces, and any attendant action to ensure maximization of our capability. Mr. Speaker, I am aware of the distinction between, I have no military background, and the Ministry of Defense has both a uniformed unit and a civilian unit. My role upon confirmation again will be chair of the Defense Council, the composition of which is consists of the Chief of the Defense Forces, the CDF, and the service commanders. I am a team player by design and by practice. I am also very consultative in my leadership philosophy, and this is a skill set that I will have to employ heavily in terms of the need to understand the operational and administrative role of the uniformed side of the ministry for complementarity, but also to give me a competitive edge in terms of bringing my expertise from the civilian aspect, borrowing and learning from the uniformed aspect, so that my advisory role on policy is going to be rich and sufficient to advise the Commander-in-Chief as well as my interaction with Parliament. So I am confident that I will bring a team spirit to the ministry, and particularly at the level of the Defense Council, which is where I will be interacting with the service commanders. Thank you.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. CS nominee being one among the lucky 10 or so who are
the deployment of the military to the streets to calm the protesters, is it live, and how long was it supposed to take? Thank you.
Soipan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With regards to the question raised by the Honourable Member for Nyeri County, Honourable Mukami, it is around the value for money in terms of the practice of leasing as opposed to purchase of vehicles for the military. I will not venture much into it. It is an issue that I will have a look at in terms of what the prevalent situation is. But by all means, the point you raise is valid, that we should be looking at very efficient ways of expending our monies within the KDF. Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Caleb Amisi, the recent designation of Kenya as a major non-NATO ally by the US is one that we really should be proud of as a country. It places Kenya at a competitive edge in terms of bilateral